What's up, Transformers fans? Today we have got Masterpiece Dinobot here from Takara Tomy. Szasse. This is an absolutely amazing figure and absolutely one of my favorites. I say absolutely a lot, I know, and I apologize. Okay, so getting into this figure, he looks so well done. They did such a great job of getting that Dinobot feel. He has excellent parts and quite a few nice features throughout. The biggest complaint about this form is the foot thing that goes on back here, where you just have this like lob of his humanoid feet. They weren't able to tuck that into anything. I would have rathered some kind of contraption or something to cover that a little bit, at least, instead of having it stick that far out. But they had to work with what they could to be able to get this figure to look as close to amazing as possible in both bot form and dino form. So then they did a pretty good job. They definitely grasped his essence here in the face. We got two different plates that we can work with, or eyes we can work with, where you can flip this up and swap the eyes over to a more conniving look or that wide-eyed look. Pretty sweet figure. All right, let's look at posability. So his head can spin all the way around, it can look up and down, and the mouth can open quite a distance, and we got that tongue movement. Excellent mouth stuff going on for a dino. For his arms, they are on little ball joints, so you get quite a range of motion, which is fantastic. We've got our little claw that can grip things and move about as well. No side, oh, there is a side twist as well. Lots of options here, so we can get a lot of those looks that he had in the show. For his legs, we're a little bit more limited here, so it does not rotate at this section at all. This is all locked in. There's a mechanism there that keeps it all tight. So we're mostly just working with what this joint here can do, which is rotate, move out, in and out, or forward and back a bit. There's some limited range. It can twist and whatnot, but the actual hip part doesn't move around that much. We could get a decent twist here, except this starts to pop out a little bit, and we need to tuck that back in if you want to get some good views, but still, it's got some range of motion there. The toes are on a joint that can raise up and down, but no, not, oh, there is a side tilt as well. So there's that side tilt, lots of options, lots of range of motion on this figure. Over to the tail, about halfway through the tail, it begins to gain articulation. It can move side to side there, up and down at the next two segments. The start doesn't have any movability at all, so it's pretty solid right there. And that's what we got going on. I really like this figure. I think they did an excellent job. Even with this, you spend so much time looking at the parts that look right, and your brain kind of ignores the little stumpy part on the back there for the most part when you're working with it, and I am a fan. They did an excellent job, and this is such a good character and figure. Let's take him out in bot form. Alright guys, here we got him all transformed, looking awesome. They did such a good job again. He's a little bit chunky at the top, but other than that, they did a very, very good job making this guy, again, look just right from the show. He's got those claw-like hands, all that nice blue, gold, and orange design comes together and is just a sweet figure. Posability-wise, his head has this like thing that it's on, and then it's also on a ball, so he can get some decent looks around, but his neck's a little bit too thick, and there's a blocker that stops it from getting to the level of flatness that I like, so he's always kind of like looking up unless you like raise this up, which I don't love, but you live with it. Rotation around the shoulders is fantastic. We got the swivel here to be able to get some other rotation. There's no midpoint swivel. There is a bicep curl. It is okay, but not fantastic. It releases the legs from the back there if it goes too high, like that. Figures wise, they are on their own joints and have a joint in the middle, but they are in sets of two. Well, there's the top and bottom are all like semi-connected going on there. He's got holes in the middle of his hands to be able to hold on to things like his weapons. He's got a good waist swivel, can turn it all the way around. Legs are really mobile, except for this thing going on, so it can go very far forward, it can go very far backward, both fantastic, but in the side, it theoretically can, but there's this thing and then the waist, so he doesn't able to go particularly far. Knee bend, he's got one. It is very stiff knee bend, but he has a pretty decent knee bend. There is a rotation right here, which I love, to be able to get those wide movements. And then there's a nice joint here on the ankle to be able to get those wide stances. So he can look like an absolute beast, ready to rock. Really poseable, excellent figure in design, style, posability, all that. Masterpiece for sure. He's got his like teeth, angry face going on right now, and he comes with 3 other heads. So we've got a variety of heads. We've got this one, which is really cool. So instead of the red eyes, this one has the white eyes going on. And what that's for is that it comes with a set of laser beams, and you can put those laser beams in line with the eyes and have him shooting out the lasers. There's also a battery option to have that light up green. So you can open up his head, put a battery in it, and there's a button here that when these ones are put in, his eyes will light up green with these beams. So he has that green eye beam situation that he had in the show. Other than that, there is a just kind of grim face and then a happy face, smiling, saying something witty. So there's a variety of faces. And finally, we got his arsenal of weapons. So they're both parts of his tail. He's got his blade sword, and he's got his big shield. So the shield's got a cool mechanic here where there's a button to press to make it rotate, as it did in the show. Let's get it over there. So you can do this, and if you press it really quick, you can get that spinning rotation going on like it did in the defensive stage in his show. So you can hold on to that in the middle of his hand, and his claws are able to grip onto that shield, as well as his sword does the same thing. It's got that hole in the side, so he can hold on to it like a blade. I should go right way up. Ready to rumble. Looking pretty sweet. I love this figure. He looks awesome. It's got a couple of gaps and whatnot, but for the most part, is really coming together as a solid look at Dinobot. So I love this figure. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys, and we will catch you guys next time.